Business Builder Sub-Award. So I'm just going to go over that. I've got lots of slides here with lots of information. So I'll share my contact with everyone so they can, you guys can reach out to me if you would like. Also, I'm not sure how many people are joining. So if you guys have questions, you can just put them in the chat. And I think there'll be some time at the end for me to answer some questions as well. So we're going to get started. So a little bit about what we're going to talk about. I'm going to give you resources, timeline, information about registering at sam.gov, application process, application review, things like that. So this picture was taken August 15th is when we launched the Business Builder Sub-Award Grant. I actually got to go to Kansas City and tour their Kansas City food hub, which I don't know if we have any food hubs on here, but that is a really cool food hub. And I have contacts for there if anybody would like to get into contact with them. But this was just some of our people that spoke at that launch event back in August. So the Heartland Center, we are 5 states. So we have Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri. And then we also have 9 counties in Northwest Arkansas. There are 12 regional food business centers in the United States. For the Heartland, there are 14 key partners, and the Kerr Center here in Oklahoma is one of them. We can help with technical assistance, coordination, capacity building, things like that. We are managed by a governor's council. So our governor's council is made up of our key partners, and we meet once a month and just discuss kind of the grant, things like that. So our vision and our mission, I'm just gonna read those off. So our vision is locally produced food will be a major contributor to a resilient and safe food supply. Regional networks will make local food an easy everyday choice, supporting healthy people, community economies, and sustainable ecosystems. Our mission, the Heartland Regional Food Business Center, ensures small to mid-sized, diverse, and historically underserved food and farm entrepreneurs benefit from the right resources at the right time on their business building journey. So this is something that the Governance Council had put together. Our core values, access. We believe everyone should have access to local, high quality, healthy, culturally appropriate, and affordable food. Equity. We are committed to providing information, resources, initiatives that fit and strengthen small to mid-sized, diverse, and historically underserved entrepreneurs and communities, including but not limited to language, culture, location, talents, and interests. Justice. We conduct a restorative and regenerative food system work that builds resilient people, communities, and ecosystems. Wealth building. We value the community wealth that resilient and equitable food systems build by increasing 8 types of capital: social, natural, cultural, built, financial, political, individual, and intellectual. So the Business Builder Sub-Awards. We will have 3 rounds of these. Available, we have a little over $11 million that we will be splitting up within the 5 states. One thing about these is there's no match required. I know several grants require you to have a match. The Business Builder Sub-Award does not. This is also a reimbursement grant, which means that you will spend the money and then you will file a reimbursement and get paid, get reimbursed for that. The financials will all go through the University of Nebraska. So they're kind of the lead on that. Award amounts are from $5,000 to $50,000. You can apply more than one time, even if you're awarded.
Well, I'm here so I can be plugged in at the moment, but then I'm gonna move over there here shortly.
Okay. All right. But if you like applied the first round for like $10,000, if you wanted to apply again, you can, as long as that number doesn't go over that $50,000. We are estimating 130 grants will be awarded the first go round. And that's just an estimate. I'm not exactly sure where they came up with that number. That's just what I was told. The project length is 12 months, but there is an option for a one-time 6-month no-cost extension, which means you will not get extra funding. It is just if you don't get your project completed, you can extend it for 6 months. This is an estimated date of subaward timeline. So our first round opened up on August 15th and they will close October 15th. They are hoping to notify everyone by January 15th. Even if they told me that even if we don't have everything completed on who will be getting them, we will at least make contact by then. Our second round will open January 15th, close March 15th. And then our last round will open June 15th and close August 15th. I did see a chat. Meredith, yes, they're going to be distributed equally. It's 15%. I think that's on the next slide, actually. Oh, so this kind of goes over the timeline a little bit more. Heartland Regional Food Business Center held a webinar on August 28th. That recording is not posted on the website, but if that's something that you guys are interested in, I can get that to you. They are going to have business builder office hours September 11th and September 18th. So if you have any questions, you can join on that to answer questions there, or you can reach out to me. It's kind of up to you guys. After we get done here, I'm gonna show everybody the website in case you guys haven't seen it, to go through a little bit of that. I guess I didn't have, hold on. Okay, apparently I don't have that on my slides, but so for the funds, they're going to be 15% is allocated for each state, and then the rest will go into a big pool of funding. So since we have the 9 counties in Northwest Arkansas, they're not included in that 15%, so they get kind of the what's left over of that 15% from each state. Now I will tell you though that come the second and third rounds, if funds aren't being used in certain states, we will reallocate all those funds to make sure that we use all of them in the end. One thing that you have to have if you apply is a UEI number. So for those of you that aren't familiar with that, you'll go to sam.gov. For the Business Builder Subaward Grant, you have to have a Financial Assistance Award Only number. And so you can go into sam.gov, and we will have at the Heartland Regional Food Business Center, we are working on putting together TAs specifically to help with that. That way, you know, if someone has a question specific to getting a UEI number, we can just send them straight to that person. Right now, they have told us that it takes about 15 to 20 days. While you don't have to have a UEI number to apply for the grant, we are encouraging everybody to get one. That way, if they get awarded, there's no lag in anything like that because they already have it. It doesn't cost to get a UEI number, so we just recommend if you're going to apply to go ahead and get that rolling. I've messed around with it a little bit, so if people have questions, I can assist them with that. This is just showing you that when you do go to get your UEI number, you will need to get the financial assistance one. So where the red arrow is. So priorities and desired outcomes. So our goals are to expand and strengthen the regional food system network and partnerships in response to hardships and vulnerability exposed by COVID-19 pandemic. We want to increase food and farm business and financial acumen, particularly among small and mid-sized operators, create a more new and better markets, and increase market awareness and access for small to mid-sized producers and processors, increase the number of local producers that distributors, retailers, and food service buyers source from, either directly or through intermediaries, increase the number of new food and farm businesses, and improve the viability of existing businesses, increase the revenue of food and farm businesses served, and or increase local food capacity for the community served. Oh, okay. Here's the allocation of funding. I thought it was sooner than this. So up to 15% of total funds are allocated for each of our 5 states. After this allocation, the remaining funds, applicants will be chosen from Heartland Center's region-wide area, including 9 counties in Northwest Arkansas and food. So we do have a scoring rubric. So if someone wants that, I can send that to them. But for applicants to be considered for funding, they have to receive 70 points or higher on the scoring rubric. Also, there are some bonus points, which I will discuss here in a little bit on that. Eligibility. So who can apply? Small businesses and nonprofits. So we are using small, which is defined by as a business with fewer than 50 employees and less than 3 million in gross annual revenues. And that comes from the Small Business Association's their qualifications for that. No size requirement is required for nonprofit organizations unless the project concerns a revenue earning business enterprise, which must conform to the small business definition. You have to be located or serving within the 5 Heartland regional states, so Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Nebraska, or the 9 counties in Northwest Arkansas. If someone is, which I think everyone in here is from Oklahoma, is that right? But if someone is outside of the region, they have to be like a significant part of their business is being sold to someone within the region. A best fit would be small to mid-scale farm or ranch and value-added food businesses or nonprofits. We'll go, let's see. We cannot help with the actual production of food. So like if someone wants to get a grant for like growing more produce, that is not something we can cover. So people do get grants. They will get bonus points for being or serving a distressed community. And this is the map that they will be using to look at that. If they are serving a distressed community, they get 5 bonus points for that. There's no deductions if you're not serving those. You just get bonus points if you are. You also get bonus points for technical assistance. So I am for Oklahoma, one of our technical assistance providers, so I can help. I worked with several people in the last probably 2 months putting together a business plan. I can also help like answer questions for the grant. I cannot write the grant for you guys, but I could kind of give you some pointers, or you could tell me your ideas and I could kind of help you, assist you with writing the grant. If you work with a technical assistance provider, you can get anywhere from 0 to 5 bonus points. I know attending this webinar would justify as some, but hopefully you would reach out for me to get more. Some things that we can do whenever you do ask for technical assistance to get the bonus points, they're wanting a minimum of 60 minutes. I will tell you, if you work with me, typically we have like schedule a 30-minute like phone call just to kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. And then our next one will be like 60 minutes or however long it needs to be. They are wanting you to get 1 or more sessions to receive those bonus points. It can be virtual or in person. I do my best to at least meet with the people I've been helping so far at least once in person. But if not, we meet via Zoom and or over a phone call. Um, these are just some examples of eligibility. Retail food sales outlet, producers, farmers, ranchers, food to farm cooperatives, value-added processors, businesses involved in aggregation or distribution, food hubs, farmers markets, and nonprofits. I will tell you a few people that I have helped in the last few months. One of them is a value-added product. So she has slow roasted nuts that she is trying to get. Right now, she operates under the well, it's not cottage laws anymore, but the Food Freedom Act. But is wanting to do on a commercial scale and be able to sell to like stores. I also have helped somebody who is currently selling like beef products, but they are wanting to do some value added things such as summer sausages, beef jerkies, things like that. And so they are applying for that. Things that, well, go to the next one. Oh, so these are some examples of projects. So some other things we can cover would be like marketing, website design. We can even help cover trainings, which I think is really important. So some things on here, I don't want to read all of them, but if you're developing a new product, so like a value-added product, we could help with the cost of the developing of it, labels, packaging, and testing, which in Oklahoma, we have the FAPSI Center at OSU that can help with the testing side of things as well. Training and food safety planning and compliance. Was talking to a farmer last week about expanding they kind of have a CSA in a way, but it's also not exactly a CSA. And so they're wanting to expand and grow that. And so I was talking to them about that. Okay, so things that can be covered would be things like building a website, setting up an online store, marketing expenses, feasibility studies, packaging, costs related to project personnel, special purpose equipment. Now, on the equipment, if something is over a certain dollar amount, you will have to get 3 bids for that. And that's just to ensure you're getting the fairest, best prices. Things we cannot cover. The biggest one that a lot of people have asked, and I'm going to skip kind of down to the bottom, construction projects. We cannot do construction. There is no way that that will work. We also cannot do the production of food, which would be animal feed. We cannot do helping with like purchase a high tunnel, anything like that. We also do not do anything with meat processing. Now, if you're doing a value added, that is a little bit different because it becomes a value added product and not just meat processing. We cannot do anything that will be reimbursed by a third party. We cannot pay costs incurred prior to the date of agreement. So you can't write the grant and then purchase something and then want to be reimbursed for it after you've already bought it and before you were awarded the grant. And we also cannot support a project that has a proposed period of performance longer than 48 months or equipment not related to the project. This is what the scoring rubric looks like. If you are applying or if you would like me to send you this, I do have a PDF of it that I can easily send you. Actually, anybody that I work with from a TA standpoint, this is one of the first things I send them after we have our initial like conversation. I just know from myself writing grants that seeing something like this kind of lets you know, okay, this is how things will be scored. So that's that. I'm going to check the chat really fast. Yeah, so this is being recorded. And then also, I don't think I can share this PowerPoint specifically with you, but Bridget, I can give you pretty much all the information that we're going over. So, okay, up next. So the application is an online application. They have to be submitted online. You'll go to our website and create an account. All fields must be filled in. You can save and return back to your work. You must submit this by October 15th at 11:59 p.m. So with this, even though it is online, we do have a PDF option for you to download. And me personally, I prefer to write stuff down with pen and paper. And so you can download that and fill it in kind of a PDF and then go back to the application and fill it out. I'm going to show you when I get done with this. I'll go to the website and kind of show you guys some of that. So CARES with the University of Missouri is the one who has put together all of our website and our online application, everything like that. So Jamie and Jason are kind of the go-to people for that. So the review selection, so we will have we'll have a review committee that will go over and basically select our applicants that get awarded. Finalists will receive notification and next steps, hopefully within 90 days of applications. So if you apply in round 1 and do not get awarded, you can still reapply. So hopefully what will happen is you will get some notes made on your application that you turn in. And then we really encourage you to work with a TA and work on revamping your application to submit again. That's kind of the perks of having 3 rounds. So yeah, some of this is kind of repeating what I've already said. I do want to point out though that, oh, I'm sorry. I want to point out that our applications will be available in Spanish and English. And if you fill out the Spanish application, that application will be reviewed by qualified Spanish speaking reviewers. That was something that we worked really hard to make sure would happen. And so I'm super excited to have that available. Okay. Successful applications will be required to participate in a reporting requirement. They will not get their final payment until after they receive their final report. All Business Builder recipients will be assigned a TA person from the Heartland Regional Center that will be trained in the post-award process, and they will check in regularly with recipients to help them navigate the post-award process. The Heartland Center will offer office hours with UNL grant administrative associates for invoicing and other questions, including Business Builder subaward agreement terms and conditions. I will open it up for questions, and then I will also pull up our website so you guys can see that if you have not. This is my contact information, and I can also, if Bailey wants to share that, my contact information with everybody, you can. That's fine. That is my cell phone number. So you should be able to reach me there pretty often. And then my email address. So
one question I had is you talked about the technical assistance gives you bonus points.
Mm-hmm.
And so if someone wants technical assistance, are you the primary person that you're going to be reaching out to? Because everybody on this call is, obviously Oklahomans. Should there be, is there certain, based off of what you're like, is it like certain projects need to have certain people provide the technical support, or?
So so mostly Oklahoma comes to me, and then if I can't help them, I point them in another direction. So, Rodney Holcomb from the FAPSI Center at OSU, he is also considered a technical assistance provider. But most of the time they come to me, and then so there's been two people I've sent to him because they were more value added side for like the beef jerkies that I mentioned earlier, summer sausages, things like that. That's not my specialty. And so I kind of told him, I was like, I can help you work through a business plan, but when it comes down to your labeling, things like that, I sent them to Rodney because that's not something that I do. But I'm kind of the main person for Oklahoma. If someone goes and asks for more like assistance, if they go to the website and like fill out the like request more information, their contact comes to me and I respond. And then there's been a couple of people that one of them I wasn't for sure how to help them, and then it turned out being that it wasn't even their project wasn't even eligible. But it was kind of tricky because it was related to meat, and they had talked about doing value added, but the more that I talked to them and I jumped on a call with another person from another state, their project, we could maybe help them in a few years, but they were starting from ground zero, wanting to build like a processing facility, and we can't help with that. So we basically had to tell them, you need to reach these other steps before you come to us. So I'm the main one in Oklahoma. And if I can't help, like I said, I push them on to someone else.
Thank you.
Okay, let me pull up.
And just to let you know, there are several food hubs represented on the call today.
Perfect. And I
farm hubs.
Okay, well, we can help farm hubs too. So I talked earlier back in August, actually, I talked to Taryn with Oklahoma City Food Hub, I think. And then I have talked to several farm hubs. So I'm in North, for those of you that don't know, I'm in Northeast Oklahoma. That's where I'm located, but I travel a lot. But I have reached out and met with several farm hubs in our area, which is super exciting. And it's awesome to see them going and doing stuff. I think that's great. Okay, can everybody see the website? Okay, so oh gosh, hold on. If you go to Heartland Regional Food Business Center.org, this is what our website looks like. And then if you click on the Business Builder Grant tab, there's a lot of information on here. A lot of it I covered, but this is a great place to go for questions. Most of it, I can also send you. Most of the time, instead of just sending people the website, once they go to the website and they request information and their contact gets sent to me, I will just go ahead and send them the scoring rubric, the PDF of the application, the request for application that has it's like a 35-page document full of a million things, I feel like. And then a budget example. That way people can kind of see an idea of what that looks like. There's a lot of good frequently asked questions on here. And that's kind of being updated consistently as we get more questions. We put that on there to make it as easy as possible for people to fill out. And you'll see it's both English and Spanish. There's a checklist on here that I feel like is really good. So my computer will load to help you prepare and then to do the application. So yeah, any other questions?
So everyone on this call who wants to get funding needs to reach out to you so they can get the 5 points of extra points and also be set up in the right direction for this grant opportunity.
That's correct.
I have, and I just want to let you guys know for our initial OLAC grant, we worked with someone like Reighly on someone reviewing the grant and making sure that we were in the right direction before we submitted. And I mean, and I always think that that is the best way to go. And so I do suggest everybody using Reighly. But I think, you know, while you're talking to your fellow Okies, do you have like a goal timeline or availability? Because I know that, you know, we have 14 people on this. Like, how are you going to manage this? Or what, like, are you saying I can't, if you call me on October 1st, I'm probably too busy. But maybe if you call me now, you know, like, what's your timeline?
I definitely suggest you reaching out to me sooner than later. Because every day I am getting more and more requests for information and filling up my calendar. And there's also other trainings and other things that we have scheduled just for the Heartland Regional Food Business Center. So next week I'm actually going to, because even though I'm primarily in Oklahoma, we've kind of divvied up those 9 counties of Northwest Arkansas. So next week I have a whole day that I had to block out to go to Northwest Arkansas. I'm going to one of their food hubs and talking to several of their farmers. So definitely reach out to me sooner than later to get on my calendar. I will tell you that if you reach out to me, like it's due October 15th. If you reach out probably later than October 5th, it's going to be hard for me to give you any technical assistance. And you either will probably, I mean, I don't want to say that I won't be able to help you, but there's a good chance that my time schedule will be too busy. And so you either will have to apply without getting that bonus points, or you will have to wait until the next round to apply. And that's just because there's only one of me, and there's lots of people that are wanting to apply. I know one of the things that someone asked was, well, what if I find out last minute I want to apply, and on another webinar that I was on, and the lady that was putting on was like, well, you probably won't get my help. So while I want to help everybody, just know that it is, you know, the time is quickly approaching. So at least get on my calendar. I always tell people too, once you're on my calendar one time, it's a little bit easier for me to schedule you in because I have a better idea on what it is you will be needing. So keep that in mind as well. And even if you don't want to apply for this first round, so I actually had a meeting this morning at 9 with a food hub or with a farm hub in Owasso, Collinsville area. And I met with her this morning, and we basically, we're not starting from ground zero because she already has her farm hub up and running. But when it came down to the grant, she didn't know exactly what she wanted to apply for. And so her goal is to apply for the second round, which is great that she's getting started early. But I told her, I was like, you know, I'm glad you started now because we have lots of time to prepare for the next round. But I encourage you guys, even if you aren't going to apply until the second round or even the third round, to get with me. That way we can start working on things and we're not rushed to get things done in a quicker manner than we should. And then also, once I get your guys' like, if you reach out to me, I save everybody's contact. And if the Heartland Regional Food Business Center is doing something, like when we have a webinar or anything like that, I like to remind everybody of like, hey, this is going to be happening, or like the office hours that are going to happen September 11th and the 18th. I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly what that all will entail because that's not part of what I do, but I just know it's available. I will be reminding people that those are coming up in case they need to reach out to them for anything.
Would those count as technical assistance?
So I honestly don't know. I think it depends on what you are talking to them about. And you have to have, there's like a 250 word justification of your technical assistance. Let me see if I can find exactly that. So it just depends on if you can justify that you received technical assistance from them. see what we can see. Where did I see? Yeah, so you basically have to be able to provide what issues or goals you worked on, what type of progress you made after talking to them. And then something else too. So if you use someone as a technical assistant, they also will have to, I don't remember if it's actually write you something or just say, yes, I worked with this person. That way someone doesn't just like, say someone sends an email to me and I respond back, but then they never follow up with what I responded on. That way they don't just put my name on there and say, I received technical assistance from her, because my name's out there and they know that I provide technical assistance. So there's going to have to be some actual information being exchanged, assistance being exchanged for that to count. So, yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, looking at the names in this Zoom call, I'm really excited about the potential of what's going to be happening in Oklahoma and the applications.
I'm excited. So when I first started, all the states have a little bit of a different audience. I feel like it's the same because they're all in ag, but there's just a little bit of difference on who we're targeting. And when I first started, I wasn't exactly sure where and how it was going to go, because a lot of the other states, their technical assistance providers have been doing this for a while, but now it's just labeled under Heartland Regional Food Business Center, whereas my position was not existent until I started in December, the end of December. And so I'm excited, and I've met with a lot of people who I think will have potentially a really great application. And I know Oklahoma is, very dear to me, especially their farm hubs and just agriculture in general in Oklahoma. So I'm excited to see what Oklahoma can pull out. So
I had a question. We're working with several producers on a group gap for Oklahoma. And if they need to be able to do group gap, one thing is that, if you're washing lettuce, you need to have walls on your wash station, which is not something is that something that can be, or no?
So I said we don't do construction, but we can do minor construction. So if they have a wash station already, I think it would depend on what that would look like. But if they were putting in a wash station, that would have minor construction. So not like ripping out 5 walls and putting 5 more walls in with minor, just minor stuff, not major, but minor stuff. It could be covered.
Oh, okay. We have a lot of porch wash stations.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I believe, we would just have to look at it, but I think that, yeah, it would be considered minor okay. Construction.
Okay. And yeah, Melissa?
Yeah, forgive me for being late, and this might have already been asked, but are you available to ask questions for what would be applicable for the grant, or is that somebody else? Or if I think of ways on how we can expand our farm or expand a market that we started, I just wondered who to go to see if what the ideas we had would be part of the grant opportunity.
That would be me.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. And I believe Bailey sent out my contact information.
Okay.
So yes. You can just email me.
And then just a side note, I also recorded this whole presentation, so we'll send that out afterwards for everyone to see.
Oh, thank you so much. One more question. Is our Choctaw folks eligible for this grant?
Yes.
Okay. I have somebody here starting a farm hub and I wanted to point her in this direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Please do. And then also if anyone has like connections with like tribes that are doing value added products and things of that nature, send them my way as well. That's something sometimes I think people don't think could apply, but they can. I know I've reached out to Quapaw Nation, haven't heard anything back. And then someone else from the Kerr Center has reached out to a couple other tribes to see if they had anything that would qualify, or not necessarily qualify, because I'm sure they have several things that qualify, but if they were interested in applying or answering any questions.
And then another thing I saw is based off of your geographical location, you can also get some bonus points. Is that based off of the place and you might have covered this, I'm sorry, off of where you're going to be working, or like, so where your actual farm stand is, or where your farm is located, or where or like if it's like, OKC Food Hub, where they're like bases, or, I mean, what does that mean? And, or is it interpretive based off of something else? I don't know.
So it is off of where you are, where you're selling to, or where you're selling at, because not everybody not everybody sells where they live. And so it's the customers that you are you're selling to. I'm just gonna pull that up.
Yeah, pull that up.
Okay,
This
so
is really helpful.
okay, so this is the map, and I can share this with you guys. But this is
So
the map that
we'll just put a zip code. We'll do 73117. So you put the zip code of wherever you're going to be serving.
so that one is considered distressed. So they would get the 5 bonus points for that. So we are doing distressed and at risk. So if we went up here to 73121, they are in the at risk color. So that would give you the 5 bonus points as well. But if you come to
The Health Science Center, that's where I work.
but if you come over to here, they're considered comfortable, and so they would not get the 5 bonus points. Now you're not getting anything deducted from your score. You're just not getting any bonus points. I live, which I was a little bit surprised. I live, let's see.
I had a lot of fun on this website, I have to tell you. I was like looking up all the zip codes, like where I grew up, all the things.
Yeah. So, I live up here in Ulaga, or Talala, Ulaga area. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little surprised. I figured we would be more at the at-risk level. But we are at the we're in mid-tiers, so we're not considered at risk. We're not necessarily comfortable either. We're just kind of right there in the middle. But this is also,
PSO.
yeah, probably. But
It's
anyway,
very fascinating, very fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm probably it.
So yeah, this is on their website and you'll be able to look it up and see. So it's based off of where you're going to be selling.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And I know there was a lot of conversation about that. And to me, it makes sense to do where you're selling and not so much where you're located, because the people that you're selling to are the ones that make the difference. And that includes, so like if you're doing, if you do like a CSA type of selling or marketing or a delivery, make sure that you're using because sometimes that radius can be pretty big. So I encourage people to use their where their most deliveries are, or where the majority of their CSAs are, to use that number for or that zip code for this.
Would food pantries fit in this, or is it just ag?
So I it would depend on what they're wanting to do. Because we cannot help with buying of food, but if they, food pantries are probably a nonprofit or a church along those lines. If they were wanting to get like more
Refrigerator.
freezer space, refrigerators, things like that, that could be eligible, yes.
Okay.
But I really stress on the whole, we cannot provide like the cost of food, because I've had a couple people that wanted to use the grant to buy like startup inventory for something or ingredients for like a value added product, and that's not something we can cover.
Okay, so kind of along the line of thinking, but not exactly. So one of the small tribes, actually up in Miami, they received a small grant where they are able to buy all of their commodities for their tribe through us, with it just being like locally produced, like nutritious food for their tribe. So could we do something where we're able to increase our capacity to provide more for them?
Yes, as long as you're not buying food. And it kind of depends on what that capacity looks like. If you are wanting to build another building, we cannot cover that cost. But if you're wanting to buy like a walk-in cooler,
like freezer space.
Yes, that would
like
be that could be covered, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's our main thing is they come and pick up from us either weekly, or with the meat they want to buy it like for the whole month, and it's like, oh, that's a lot of meat for us to have at one time.
Yeah.
So
that would be covered. Something else, someone has asked me about like a refrigerated like truck, or a truck that has like capabilities of having a freezer in it, things like that. You cannot purchase the truck with this fund, but you could rent it if you could find a place to rent it. Or if you already had a truck and or a trailer and you wanted to convert it to like a freezer or a cooler, that is something this grant could potentially cover as well.
Good to know.
And something else that I really like to remind people too is it can help with the cost of like personnel. And the question was asked, and with another meeting that I have with somebody, I was going to see the exact verbiage, but remember to pay yourselves if possible, and that is something you can write into the grant as well, because you are personnel. Even if you're like the owner of something, you're considered a personnel. So keep that in mind. Now, not everybody wants to go that route, but that's something to think about, is making sure that your personnel are getting paid.
I would make one little copy, make sure it's within the scope of the project.
Yes.
So you're paying yourself to implement this project.
Yes.
Not just run your store. So
yes. I'm gonna bring up one other thing, but maybe not.
I had to go get another job just so I could fund my farm hub.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
No, it's just, the day job funds the dream job.
Love on my tomatoes because I'll say my tomatoes.
Brooke, did you say something?
Nope, sorry. If you can hear me, I'm just dropping something off. I was dropping a delivery off.
That's okay. Well, Riley, you've been a wealth of knowledge, and I do hope that you soon get a whole bunch of technical assistant requests
Yes.
from everyone on this call today, and that we see some wonderful projects come up in Oklahoma.
Yes, I do too. And if you guys like, you know, anybody that wasn't able to join, feel free to share my contact information with them. And or if people go to our website, the Heartland Regional Food Business Center, and they go to the request more information or get help. It doesn't come directly to me. It goes to either Jason or Jamie, and then they forward it on to me. So if for some reason someone doesn't have my contact information and they go there, just so you all know, it will come to me from the website eventually. It goes to one person and then to me. And from what I've been told, it's a pretty quick turnaround from the time that they do it on the website. By the time it gets forwarded onto me, it's like less than 24 hours. Obviously it depends. If somebody does it at like midnight, it's not going to happen at 12:30, but it is a pretty quick turnaround there.
I love that, Robin.